Welcome to 5th grade science. I wanted to walk through a lesson with you to show you all the different features and parts that are contained in the lessons and connexus, because there can be a lot of information. We'll start off with the top left-hand side. This will tell you what the lesson number is, the title of the lesson, and then also what unit you're in. So we're looking at Unit 3, Lesson 1, and in the lesson, it's broken down into different parts, and you'll see these icons at the top that tell you what part of the lesson you're in. And then also on the bottom right are the page numbers. We're on page 1 of 5 right now for this lesson. On this first page of the lesson, usually we'll give you a question to kind of get your thinking going about whatever the topic is. It'll also talk about what you're going to be learning today. It has key words. Those are our vocabulary words that we must know. You want to be finishing this lesson understanding what those words are. You'd be able to tell what those are. The objectives are also on this first page and what our goals are on what we want to learn. Down at the bottom is the lesson guide, and this is for the learning coach. This will help you walk through the lesson and what to talk to your student about. So that's page 1. Down here on the bottom right, we're going to click the arrow to go to page 2. On page 2, we have a link that's usually for some sort of movie. It might be a brain pop, could be a Discovery Ed movie, could be a streaming video, but there's usually some sort of movie on that page. You'll click the link and it'll open up into that movie to watch. Page 3 has a lot of information on it. This is the one that you'll really want to make sure that you're checking your lesson modifications. And it's like, well, what are the lesson modifications? If you go down to the bottom of the screen on the left, there's all these icons. We're going to want to look at this pink eraser icon. If I click that, it's going to open up into this box that says lesson modifications. And if I scroll down, there's going to be typing in here. And this is what the typing looks like. I put it into a screenshot for right now for this example. But all of this will be in that icon. So we're looking at page 3, and it will tell you the things that you need to do, things that are optional, things that you don't need to do. There's a lot of stuff in connexus, and you don't always need to do everything. So check the lesson modifications to see what's really important. At the top it says to do the Explore Lab on page 64 to 66. In the lesson, it tells you that this is in the Building Skills Activity Lab book. That book was sent to you. That was actually, it's a physical book that was in your supplies that you'll be able to use. It looks like this. So this is the page where the Explore is on, and this is the part you'll be doing. This is the answer key, so the table's already filled in. This is what you would be doing with your student, or your student would be doing, and you'd be checking really. So this is just like the warm-up, the engage activity. If I keep reading, you'll be given 3 choices of additional experiments in this unit. This lesson has one of those choices, and it's on page 66 in that same book. So if I come back to this book and look at page 6, that's 64 and 65. So this is one of the choices here on page 66. Research one of your food chains. What ecosystem is it a part of? What organisms are a part of this ecosystem? How can these organisms connect to your food chain? You can do your lab report on this sheet itself. You'll see the blue are the possible answers that could be given for this. You won't see this in your student's book. Obviously, they're going to be writing in the book these answers. I'm going to post these answers for parents. I'll send that out to you in a webmail at the beginning of the year so that you have this answer key to kind of help you help your student if they get stuck on things. So you will have this, but your student may write directly into this workbook for their answers. The lesson will also say, hey, fill out this lab report. You can do either or, it doesn't matter. You can either use the workbook itself to write the answers, or your student can use the lab report sheet. And this is more like broken down into the scientific process, so totally up to you on which one you want to use. I feel like the workbook's right there, so it's just as easy to use that. So feel free to do that. What you'll do is you'll take a picture of the page, whatever page you do, if it's the lab report sheet or the workbook page, take a picture of it and you're going to be turning that in. Well, this is one of the 3 choices. So in my teacher notes, it says one of the 3 lab choices. So my other 2 choices are located in lessons 2 and lesson 4 is what this is saying. So what if I want to find out what those are first? Because maybe I want to do those over this one. Maybe I'm more interested in those lessons. So what I can do is go to this course tree. It's on the left-hand side in purple. If I click on it, it opens up the whole science semester. We're in unit 3. So it's saying that the other 2 options are in lesson 2 and 4. So I could click on lesson 2 and I could click on lesson 4 and I could go read what those choices are to see if I want to do those labs instead of this one, because I'm only choosing one. And then what I'll do is after I complete my lab report sheet or the workbook page, either one, I'm going to take a picture of it or scan it. And down here in the course tree, you can see where you're going to turn it in, because there'll be this big P with this orange box. That's for portfolio. That's where the drop box will be, where you will submit your lab report. Okay, so that's where you'll be turning it in. So if I do my lab in lesson 1, I may just have to hold on to that in a picture until I get to lesson 7 to actually turn it in. Okay, so it is your choice on which 3 you want to complete, and you can see where you complete it with that course tree. Also on this page, there's a lot of information on page 3. This is where most of the things are. It talks about reading pages 142 to 150 in Science A Closer Look. That's the textbook, and you are not given a physical textbook. It is an online textbook. Down here, there's a link, Science A Closer Look. If I click on that, the textbook should pop up. Well, I'm on a Mac, and when I click it, only the first cover page pops up, so that's not helpful to me. You might run across that problem as well. So if that happens to you, what you'll need to do is go down to these icons again. Now we're going to use the backpack icon. It's like holding your books, right? So if I click on the backpack icon, I have some different choices in here. And I want to go to the one that says web links. If I click on web links, it gives me the textbook broken down into different parts. So I need to find the part that matches the pages they want me to read. They want me to read pages 142 to 150. So I'm going to find the page range that contains that, and I'm going to open the textbook for that page range. And it might take a second to load. But I'm going to be then scrolling to the pages that they wanted me to read, which it started with 142 to 150. So I'm going to go through this. There's 137. I'm going to look at the page numbers at the bottom of the pages until I get to 142, and here's 142. So I would start reading here, and this is where I would start my note taking. I'll do another video about how to use this textbook and take notes. But this is how you access the textbook. So I can close those out. My recommendation is to leave that textbook window open and to leave your lesson window open, both, and you can go back and forth between the two if you need to. So you're going to do the reading in that textbook, and you're going to be doing your note taking. So also on this page is this extension. The extensions are always optional, totally up to you if you want to do them or not. That's all for you. Down at the bottom is the lesson guide again for the learning coach to help you go through and what you need to do. They also talk about doing some reading and writing, the reading and writing workbook. Let's take a look at that. Let's see, and that's on, looks like this next page of the lesson. This is the review page on page 4. And it says to complete page 58 through 59 in the Building Skills Reading and Writing Workbook. Okay, so this is another workbook that was sent to you. So you have a physical workbook, and these pages look like this. These are practice pages that goes over what you were just doing. I think they're really actually quite good to check yourself to see if you really understand those vocabulary words. This will not get turned in to your teacher. This is just for you to practice and get ready for those tests. So it's just another great tool to study to be prepared, but they will not be turned in. So that's totally up to you in keeping those up. There's also sometimes an e-review summary, And so this is like an online way to study and review that lesson that you just did. So you'll go through that. And then there's usually some sort of journal entry. In your lesson modifications, sometimes I'll ask you to do the journal entry, sometimes I won't. I would just keep like a spiral notebook just next to your science stuff that you can write on to do a journal entry when you need to. Some of them are better than others, so sometimes it's optional. So just check your teacher notes and try and do that journal entry when you can. Down here are flashcards. That's just practicing the vocabulary words. Totally up to you. Those are always optional, and if you want to use those or not. And then at the bottom is the lesson guide, the teacher notes. I will say, one of these books is called, I think, GT, like Gifted and Talented. Please disregard that. It's the same course for regular as it is GT. So if they mention something that's GT and you're like, oh wait, we're not in the Gifted and Talented course, don't worry. It's just in there. It hasn't changed anything. So please just ignore that GT reference. Page 5 is the last page. And that is the quick check, quiz, or assessment page. You will do this at the end of the lesson. You may use your notes that you took from your textbook or the lesson to do this page. You may use your notes. The only time I ask that you don't use your notes are on the TEKS checks that you'll be getting throughout the semester. We do 1 or 2 a semester, and those are for me to see what you know and what we still need to work on to get ready for STAR. We do have a 5th grade STAR at the end of the year, so that's the only time I ask you not to use your notes. Otherwise, you may use your notes on these quizzes, quick checks, and assessments. Okay? So let's say I take this quiz, I turn it in. Then down here at the bottom, I'm going to go back down to my icons at the bottom left, and there's one that has a check mark. I'm going to make sure I check mark the lesson off to show that I am complete. I hope this helped with a walkthrough on the lessons, and please take a look for that video on using the textbook and note-taking. Thank you.